Hi everyone, we're going to be looking at adding a roof above a deck. So I opened up the RedX Decks app, we added just a square house, and I added a deck here, just a simple deck build. So you'll see the options here for roof tools. You can click on that and we'll select the create with beams option. And then we'll just kind of trace out the outline of the roof. So I'm going to start from this corner here. It's a bit small. And just going to go around the deck. And then you'll see that automatically generates a roof above the deck there. So you can we're going to hide the siding and trim here in soffit so we can see what's happening underneath. And we can delete this one beam, and then we'll delete these end posts also. So that will leave us with this roof above the deck here. And we can actually, under the manage layers, we can hide the shingles, and here we'll see the actual rafters. For these posts, you'll see we have these posts going through the deck here. If you wanted to finish these on top of the deck, we can open up the options and you'll see the custom post height. We can set that to just to finish above the deck there, and if we didn't want a footing there, we would just disable that footer. And then you could do the same for the other ones, and hide that footer. Obviously, you'd have to make sure that that's structural, and you would need some support beams under. But that would give you a rough look at what your roof's going to look like. If you want to change the roof pitch, you can select this roof side and hit on these three little dots. We'll go to roof settings, and this will edit this whole roof. So you can change your initial roof pitch to a 412, for example, and you'll see that gets rebuilt automatically. We can look at the overhang, so that's the fascia overhang. We can just leave that at a foot, that's fine. Then you have your rafter spacing, so if we needed a 2-foot rafter spacing would be fine for this. And then the height above plate would be for these beams, so we would have to roof settings, let's do a height above plate of, let's say, actually, we could do a C-cut length of 3 inches, and that's gonna push those beams down. So what that C-cut length would be right here, so at 3 inches would be sitting on a double beam, that'd be fine. And then as we moved our C-cut length, that brought these beams down a bit so it could keep this fascia at the same height as the existing roof structure. You can also change this side to a gable if you wanted to, so just select in between the rafters here, just select the roof side and hit convert to gable, and that's going to convert that to a gable. And then you could get rid of this beam if you wanted to, just delete it, but you would kind of need that for your structural support. You can toggle on any of these rafters. You can select on them and hit the inspect, and that's going to bring up the actual rafter cut list, I guess, or cut dimensions. So here you could have all your rafters, you have your cut angles. You can zoom in on the rafter bird's mouth cut details, and so on. So that's kind of if you wanted to have a single sloped roof approach, you would actually let's see how this goes here. Let's go convert this side to a gable, and this side's gonna have to be convert to a slope, and on the single slope roof you'd actually have this roof pitch lower, let's say at 212, and then you see it's starting to come to shape here, and on this side here you'd have this as a convert to a gable. You can see how you're starting to shape out how this is going to look. Let's go for a 112 on this pitch, just to get an example here. And you see how it's starting to shape out, and how all the roof updated automatically to land on this roof, on the main roof house structure. And it gets pretty accurate, but if you go, you can see how the board, I guess you call that the sleeper board, was kept up about the thickness of the plywood. So all these measurements are going to be accurate as long as you've got the right rise measurements of the house and to the deck and so on, but then these rafters would be accurate. What else could we look at? So if you wanted to see the report, so you can actually see the elevation plans. So if you go to, if you wanted to see the combined with, you would go level 1, go to the combined tab, sorry about that, combined tab, you open that, and then that's gonna show us the combined elevations. And then we'll be able to see the deck, the house, and the roof. And if you open up these options, you can see these switch to different elevations. So this will go, so we can see exactly what that looks like. And then here we have the rise measurements for the existing roof, and also the roof above deck. So this is great. And then under the options, you also have a color mode. So if you wanted to toggle on your color there, you could do that. Okay, you can close that. If you wanted some rafter, specifically rafter details, instead of going to the combined tab, you would go to the roof, and here we have, so this is level 1, would be the first roof structure we did. So that's the house, so we don't really care about that one. We just want to see this lower one here. So we have these 11 common rafters, and these are just the blueprints for the rafters here. And then if you hit the complete roof PDF, so that's just going to be the roof structure of the deck. So you can see how we have the labels for the rafters, and it's going to show you the beam layout, post layout, spacing, and the elevations, and the plywood. And then obviously we have our deck blueprints. If you wanted just the specific blueprint without the roof above, you would go here, and then this would be your elevation, and then here you'd have your blueprints for the actual joists. So that's basically a quick overview on how that would look like. Again, if you wanted to create an elevation, if you go siding trim, if you open all that up, we wanted to create a nice render from this, you would go to renders, you would kind of get the angle that you're looking for, and then we hit generate render, and then this will bring up our options there. So if we wanted some trees in the background, maybe a barbecue setup, and then when we hit generate render there, this is going to be using AI to create a render. So if you just give that a minute. So you see, this is what it came up with. So you could ask for changes. So if you wanted to, we could say we wanted to add a patio door to the house and add some railings. And then when you submit that, you just give it a few minutes or so, or not a few minutes, just maybe under a minute usually. And you see it added those railings we asked for and the patio door. This is really cool. And then you can download that, show it to your customer, do whatever you need to do with it. Okay, that's a good start. And thanks for watching this video. And then have a look at the other tutorials we got on the decks. And there are other apps at redxapps.com.